Missing in Missouri is an investigative podcast dedicated to finding as much information as we can in missing person cases and ultimately find the truth. So we're going to play the second part of this interview. We have a few announcements to make after we play this second part. So enjoy.
Before they enjoy it, I just have to say, I have really enjoyed listening to it. I think you did an amazing interview. And your interview is so much better than my first interview was. Because my voice was all shaky and nervous, and it just came natural to you. It just flowed really good. So I have to give you props.
Well, thank you.
Because it was really good.
Thank you.
So enjoy the second part of this interview.
It's amazing to be able to talk to people who knew her before she became a part of, I don't want to say became.
Right, before she got involved with that lifestyle, that world, in one of your, I think that it was the first episode of your podcast, y'all said, there's Sedalia, and then there's almost like the town inside of the town, that area. It almost feels separate from the rest of Sedalia. It almost feels like, their own space. They do things differently. Everything is pretty well different around there. And honestly, so many young people get sucked in, and a lot of them never leave, and that becomes their life. And it's scary. There's a very strong drug culture. And, it's, I don't know, I can't imagine. And I hate it so much for Dana that she didn't have a way out, really. I mean, we offered her a way out, but she loved Mason. I think that's really important to know, is that no matter how much he hurt her, physically and emotionally, she loved him very much. She would have done anything for him. And she loved his family. She would have done anything for them. And I do think that she felt stuck. And as much as we could do to help her, it wasn't enough to be able to get her away from there. Wasn't. And I don't know if she would have went even if we could have. But she deserved so much more. Especially because, the hard childhood she had. Her mom, the biological mom, abandoned her. I can't say exactly for sure. I know that it was before 2 years old. It may have been even before she was 1, but I can't remember 100%. I do remember the entire time that she was with us, she had one picture of her mother, of her biological mom, and she was in it. And she was on this rocking horse in this picture. She was just real little. And she really cherished that picture. She kept it close to her all the time. She had really mixed feelings about her mom. But she didn't know her, She abandoned Dana and, left Dana's dad. And he was left to raise her, and
I can tell that you guys were really close.
I probably know things about Dana that nobody else in this world knows. And I bet she knows things about me that nobody else knows. We shared a room. It was me and Dana and my little sister. We all slept in the same room. We lived in a 3-bedroom house. We have a brother. He had his own bedroom because he was the only boy. 3 of us girls shared a room, and we had bunk beds. And Dana slept on bottom. Samantha, the younger sister, slept on top, and I had a day bed. and it was really tight. It was a tight fitting space, but we made it work. And Dana and I, we fought like sisters fight. We shared clothes and fought over clothes and hair products and makeup and boys. We were only 15 months apart, something like that. But we're fairly close in age. I'm 13 months apart. Anyway, we're very close in age, and we spent a lot of time together. And Dana, she, all she really ever wanted was to fit in and to have some normalcy to her life. And I never understood that as much as I do now. I understand it now, that need for normalcy and what foster care does to a child's sense of self and their security within themselves, It really takes a very hard toll and kind of get to where, you'll get attention where you can get it. You're grateful for anybody who decides to care about you, whether they're good or bad. We kind of made her a target,
I'm sure that this has probably been difficult for you, hearing about out of nowhere there's this podcast and we're working on this and trying to do, whatever we can. And
yeah,
I can imagine, what all comes flooding back and feelings and...
A lot. Absolutely. Last night I didn't sleep much, which I'm not blaming y'all by any means. It's just, trying to remember things. And like I said before, you eventually get to a point where you kind of have to, you don't want to forget, you never want to give up, but you kind of have to learn how to cope because life goes on. And I know for a fact that Dana wouldn't want any of us to be sitting here miserable and stuck because we don't have answers yet. She never wanted to be a burden to anybody, never wanted to be in anybody's way. She never intended to hurt anybody. She just wanted to be loved. She deserved it. Maybe one of the studies I've known in my life. And it just sucks so much that this is how things ended up,
I know that there's not really anything that I can say to make it any better, but we've been talking a lot the past few days, and when we first started, we had so many goals and so many plans, and we still have them. We still want to find out what happened, and we still want to find her.
Yeah.
And I think the more that we find out and the more that we know, we are still going to do everything that we can to find the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I think it's come down for us to, even if we don't know exactly what happened, if we can find her.
Yeah, I agree. I am a firm believer in God. I am a Christian. I might not always sound like one, but I am. And I believe that God is just, and I believe that whoever did this to her, whether they're brought to justice here or on Judgment Day, they will have to answer. They will have to answer for what they did to her. And that's enough for me. Honestly, I don't know that it is for anybody else in my family, but it is for me. What's not enough, or what I'm trying to be okay with, is not knowing what she is. I want to be considered her as. I want for us to have a place where we can visit, where we can properly grieve her, for children to be able to properly grieve her. I want to know for a fact what happened. Whether we actually have all the answers or not, I want to know if she is dead or alive. And, you know, I'm in my gut, it tells me that she's gone. But because we haven't had that closure, there is still this small glimmer of hope in the back of my mind that she is still here somewhere. And on occasion, I'll see somebody that looks like her, and it will take my breath away. I'll stop and I'll look at this person. And once it hits me that it's not her, it's like losing her all over again. And if that's happening to me, I imagine that there are others that feel that way too. Perhaps better children never feel that way.
I really appreciate you opening up like this to me. It really helps to put a lot of things in perspective and kind of put more of this puzzle together.
Yeah. I'm glad to do it. I'd do anything for her. I find it really strange that no one knew, or nobody could tell you his name. You know, I find that so bizarre. I mean, I know it's been a long time ago, but, I mean, that was it was a big deal at first because they flew all the way out to Georgia and whatnot. But have you got to speak with any of the other Dawsons other than Ellen?
No. And it's not for a lack of trying. We did... Sorry, let me correct that.
No worries.
We sent a message to the Dana Bruce tribute page on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
You know, just saying, and this is whenever we first started researching, and so it was completely new to us.
Yeah.
And, you know, we didn't really know all of the connections and things at that point. But we sent them a message that said, you know, this is what we're doing, and, you know, told them about this podcast and that we were hoping, you know, that maybe someone could talk to us and just to help get this out there. And they responded back with, okay, thanks, but not at this time.
Oh, wow.
And so after we had sent messages to a lot of people, he asked them, I guess before we had sent as many as we did, my husband had asked them, you know, just another kind of, hey, we're still looking into this. Anything that you can tell us that would help, you know, kind of similar to what we sent to everybody else. You know, if there's anything you can tell us, let us know.
Right.
And they said they didn't say anything. We didn't get a response back. And I guess a few weeks later, I don't even know if it was a few weeks later, to be honest. It feels like everything's a run together.
Right. I bet.
Not too long after that, we had sent a message to someone, and we're not sure who exactly this person was. But whoever we sent a message to, we must have really hit a nerve.
Oh boy.
Because then we got a message from them, from the tribute page, and they said, we, Dana's family, have told you multiple times we are not interested. Please do not continue to contact anyone for information. And that, what I just said is direct from the message that they sent us. And so we were honest with them. We said, you know, we're sorry if we cause anyone to be upset or bring up bad memories. We're just trying to help. And they really shut us down pretty hard and pretty fast.
For anybody to, that's what, I don't know, it's just for anybody to deny help, especially at this point. It's been almost 11 years, you know, and things have gotten quiet. So to, you know, kind of unearth this case and bring it back to the light, I mean, who doesn't want that? You know? I don't know, that's just the way
it's been so long and nobody's been able to find anything, being able to find Dana and find what happened. And that's all that we want to do. We just want to help. And so you can imagine our surprise when we sent the first message and they were like, nope.
Wow.
And, we've hit a lot of no thanks or a lot of people not responding and do not contact me and things like that. And we have said from the beginning that it doesn't make sense if you want to find her, then you would take any kind of help. And this is our first podcast, and so this is our first time doing this, and so I know
it's been really discouraging.
it can be
roadblock after roadblock.
It can be, but I know that we have a lot of people who listen to this, people that we're friends with or even our family. And all that we're doing is trying to get as many people to listen and as many people, like you had said earlier, see it through their eyes, because everybody sees things different and everybody picks up things that we may not pick up. So, that's all that we want to do. And,
it is possible. And I will say that, that it's possible. I mean, I don't want it to come across like I am just picking on them. You know what I mean? That's not the case. There's just so much that makes me so uncomfortable with the whole situation, And there's so many things that just, I don't know. The way that they acted to begin with, and I remember, they were the ones to call us and tell us that Dana was missing. And they wanted to know if they should call and report it or if we should, which was really weird. Like, well, I mean, technically y'all are a family, so maybe you should call to report it. And we're like, you're the last one here, you need to call, And but from the very beginning, they made it sound very bleak. It was never like, hey, Dana didn't show up. Have you seen her? No one ever asked us that. No one ever asked, have you by any chance heard from Dana? They didn't ask my older sister, who was a lot closer with Dana in the more recent years. I don't know. I'm sorry. I lost where I'm at.
Oh, you're absolutely fine.
I don't see the point of sugarcoating anything. It's not going to help her. And people need to be honest about her life and about her, the good and the bad. It's still a person, no matter what she's got herself into. Like you guys have told me over and over again. Y'all don't care. You don't care what she's done. You don't care, what she's gotten herself into. For goodness, deserves justice. She deserves to be found. She deserves, her kids deserve it. Her family deserves it. The fact that she was on President Hill is irrelevant to the fact of she needs to be found. I do believe that it is relevant as far as finding out who did this, because I think that, to try and hide anything like that, it just doesn't help us.
We have said from the beginning, to us, we don't care what you did, but if anyone has information and it's not straightforward, it's not blunt, it's not what it was really like, that's not going to help.
Absolutely not. It's not. And, and I don't like the idea of her kids finding out about, maybe some of her issues or addictions or whatever, but, there's such a stigma behind people who are addicts. And I wish that stigma could be broken, And, I mean, of course, we know that, crime is associated with drug use and whatnot, but, Dana, she had only been in trouble, I believe, for shoplifting, I think, one time. If I remember, I know that it was on, I remember it was on CaseNet. I think that she might have stolen stuff from Walmart, I think, and I think that it was stuff for kids. It seems like it was like diapers, stuff like that. But, that was, as far as I know, that was the only trouble she ever got into with monsters. But, more than anything, we just want her to come home. Want to be able to put her to rest. And I believe, I really do believe that if we can just find her, that there is going to be some kind of evidence that leads us to truth. I really do. I think, forensics today, they're amazing. I think that if we can just find her, we can get answers. But even if we don't, at least she'll be home.
I'm sorry, I think you cut out, but I think what I kind of heard you say was if we can find her, we can get answers.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
If we find her, then, we can get answers. And forensics these days are incredible, But even so, I mean, even if we don't get answers, if we have her home, then at least she's home. And we can, I think that we would be better if she's just home,
Yeah.
I hope that people can see her the way that we see her. She was very special, and she deserves so much more than the life that she had and the suffering that she's endured her whole life. And then, to come to a tragic end, like we believe she may have, she didn't deserve it.
I agree.
If you have any other questions, feel free to call me.
Okay. And if you want to ask questions or just whatever, feel free to call or text me anytime.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Greatly appreciate that.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. So the announcement that we wanted to make is regarding a post from our Missing in Missouri Facebook page. For those of you who have yet to follow us, for those of you who may have missed it who are following us, we just wanted to let you know that there are more than just Zach and I who work on especially the social media part of Missing in Missouri.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Yeah. So Charlie introduced herself, and, her and this other person, they really help us a lot with that, with the social media.
Yes, they do.
And, they do a lot of other engagements like moderations, creating scheduled content, and things like that. And they're amazing.
They're awesome.
Our second announcement is that this episode will be the final episode for 2019. We will also, before Zach and I kind of step away for a few weeks and take a break and work on things more behind the scenes, we'll post the articles that we have. We will have those up, and they should be up by this evening if they're not already up. But, holidays are coming up. Zach and I both, like we've mentioned before, have full-time jobs ourselves. And, holidays, family, work, it gets a little crazy this time of year, I think, for everybody.
A lot crazy. Well, and Charlie's good. If you need to get a hold of us through our social media, she will pass that on to us.
Definitely. And you'll definitely get a response, and we will definitely get your message.
Yeah, and we want to thank all of you for listening, for all the support, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
We really wouldn't. So we really appreciate this, and we really enjoy doing this. And this is just a break. We will be coming back. Like Morgan said, we're kind of going to be working behind the scenes on some stuff and following up on some leads and stuff like that, and just going back through and re-examining some things.
Agreed. Our social media will still be active. There will still be posts about other cases and things like that, like normal. But it's just kind of a stepping away break moment, I think, for everybody. But like Zach said, don't think that we've given up, because we haven't.
No.
There's still plenty more that we have to do.
Oh, yeah. So it's not like we're using this time to just set it down. We are still working. It's just we won't be posting any new episodes for probably about 5 weeks or so until after the first of the year.
Yeah.
But after that, game on again.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Well, we hope that you guys have a fun and safe holiday.
Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Be safe. Be warm. I'm Zach.
And I'm Morgan.
And this is Missing in Missouri.